moving, analyzing some more documents. This one by Jacob A. Rees from How the Other Half Lives. I'm sure there's quite a few of the photos that you probably were exposed to, but we're going to read this.
Use the word exposed.
Exposed.
Because he's a muckraker,
Yeah,
get
there
it?
we go. I didn't even think about that.
There you go, that's why I'm raking the muck.
Ah, there we go. All right, so that's some things that you may or may not know about him before we even get into this document. You may, at this point, have seen some photos. This is the photos that he's taken, but you know what is nice that goes along with this is a reading that goes along with it. What he actually saw. So this is 1890. We know he's talking about how the other half lives, and when they're talking about how the other half lives, you know, sometimes in certain neighborhoods you have the haves and have-nots. And if you know anything about them, we're talking about the have-nots in this reading, and that's in the 1890s. Again, we're talking about the influx of immigrants. Anything else we need before we get into this? All right, here we go. Be a little careful, please. The hall is dark, and you might stumble over the children pitching pennies back there. Not that it would hurt them. Kicks and cuffs are the daily diet. They have little else. Here, where the hall turns and dives into utter darkness, is a step and another, a flight of stairs. You can feel your way if you cannot see it. Close? Yes. What would you have? All the fresh air that ever enters these stairs comes from the hall door that is forever slamming, and from the windows of dark bedrooms that in turn receive from the stairs their sole supply of the elements God meant to be free. But man deals out with such niggardly hand. That was a woman filling her pail by the hydrant you just bumped against. The sinks are in the hallway, that all the tenants may have access and all be poisoned alike by their summer stenches. Hear the pumps squeak. It is the lullaby of tenement house babies. In summer, when 1,000 thirsty throats pant for a cooling drink in this block, it is worked in vain. But the saloon, whose open door you pass into the hall, is always there. The smell of it has fouled you up. Here is a door. Listen. That short hacking cough, that tiny helpless wail, what to do, they mean? They mean that the soiled bough of white you saw on the door downstairs will have another story to tell. Oh, a sadly familiar story. Before the day is at end, the child is dying with measles. I almost feel like here are the pictures that we may have looked at, and
I almost feel like he couldn't take pictures of this.
Right.
Now, flash photography was around this. In fact,
for this
he actually
image
opens the door.
Yes.
Takes a flash. That's why you can see the men. Their eyes are closed. They're almost startled by this, and then he like actually had to run away.
And it's most of the time. Sometimes people also miss this guy in there.
Yeah, and I think there were 7 people in the room total.
Yeah, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold on.
And the 7th is here. This is his feet.
Oh, there we go. Yeah. Okay. So there you go.
This way. It's just.
And I'm sure you've analyzed this one before, and I know we've done it in another video clip. And again, there's a lot of things that you can talk about. Overcrowded, everything that's missing. But I almost feel like here,
this is giving me what a photograph isn't.
Right.
Because it's giving me a lot more than just the sights.
Yep.
It's giving me the sounds.
Yep.
The smells, the feel of life in a tenement. Okay, we know the poverty that was there, but now it's like, all right, so this door is constantly slamming, opening and closing, opening and closing. So if you are a hardworking immigrant living here, you're not getting a lot of sleep.
Nope.
The babies are constantly crying. The smell that must be in these buildings from lack of running water, lack of sanitation, and the fact that on the ground floor there's a saloon.
Exactly.
The saloons that also themselves were disgusting slums where men would frequently just urinate on the floor,
you're not
defecate
exactly
in
getting
the corner.
You're not exactly getting a lot of older boys going into saloons at this point in time. That's a little hint that you have some crime going on in that area.
And any good Irishman who's ever eaten boiled cabbage knows the horrid stench of cooked cabbage.
So it's almost like, okay, we've looked at this picture. We've talked about how nasty it is. But now it's like, here's what's going on around it that I couldn't fit in the picture. I couldn't fit it all in the picture, so I'm just going to put it right here.
You're tripping over kids because it's so dark. The smell.
Kids are probably not even being watched.
Yeah. And then the horror of it all, that this baby that is crying from being sick is dying of measles.
Yeah.
Luckily a disease we are vaccinated against today.
So, hold on. Let's see what else he has to say here. With half a chance it might have lived, but it had done none. Yeah, I know, exactly. That dark bedroom killed it. Come over here, step carefully over this baby. It is a baby, spite of its rags and dirts, under these iron bridges called fire escapes, but loaded down despite the incessant watchfulness of the firemen with broken household goods, with wash tubs and barrels over which no man can climb from a fire. So now we got a safety fire hazard.
Yeah. I almost wonder, like,
If
Shirtwaist Factory. Yeah.
God forbid there's a fire, you're dead. And of course, you're bringing up Shirtwaist Factory fire in 1911. This is
Yeah.
1890.
Yeah.
So Shirtwaist Factory, when you get to 1911, it improved somewhat, but yeah, you're dead in here. This gap between dingy brick walls is the yard. That strip of smoke colored up there is the heaven of these people. Do you wonder the name does not attract to the churches? That baby's parents live in the rear tenement here. She's at least as clean as the steps we are now climbing. Oh my God, she's as clean as the steps. Oh. There are plenty of houses with 100 such in. The tenement is much like the one in front we just left, only fouler, closer, darker. We will not stay more cheerless. The word is a mockery. 100,000 people lived in rear tenements in New York last year. Here is a room neater than the rest. The woman, a stout matron, with hard lines of care in her face, is at the wash tub. At the wash tub. I try to keep the children clean, she says, apologetically, but with a hopeless glance around. The spice of hot soap suds is added to the air, already tainted with the smell of boiling cabbage, of rags, and uncleanliness all about. Then we get that cabbage coming up again. It makes an overpowering compound. It is Thursday, but patched linen is hung upon the pulley line from the window. There is no Monday cleaning in the tenements. It's wash day all the week around, for a change of clothing is scarce among the poor. They are poverty's honest badge, these perennial lines of rags hung out to dry. Those that are not the washerwoman's professional shingle. The true line to be drawn between pauperism and honest poverty is the clothesline. With it begins the effort to be clean. That is the first and the best evidence of a desire to be honest. Woo! Wow. So pretty much, like, what you have going on here,
I feel dirty just reading.
it's right. And even if, they're even indicating there, I try to keep the children clean,
But what can I do?
You wash
when I'm
them.
surrounded by such filth.
But you're
they're gonna
surrounded by
get dirty
filth.
so quickly.
Oh my gosh. Imagine all the infections and everything that people, the sicknesses.
If there was a COVID outbreak in this tenement,
Forget it, they'd be dead.
They're all sick.
They're dead.
They're all sick.
So again, when you're looking at this document, you have these words to go along with, like, a lot of these pictures that he took that kind of expose.
Because that was part of his slideshow.
Yeah.
Like, he would actually read his book as the slideshow was going on, and he actually was walking you through these tenements, and it was jaw-dropping, eye-opening to the wealthy Americans, and they finally started to realize something needed to change. Change is a reform, progressive reform era.
And when you're looking at all of the problems here, again, we're looking at that areas are disgusting. All right, we talked about fire hazards. Kids are not being attended to. So there's, like, where there's one little problem, there's more. You don't have an adequate education system at this point. You don't have compulsory education. You don't have a welfare system. You don't have communities helping out these people just yet. I mean, there's just one thing after the other. Plumbing. Sanitation systems
Crime.
coming and then all of that.
All of it.
It's where there's smoke, there's fire. All right, we're good. Thanks for watching, I think.